just the other ones. Sorry? Yeah, terrible.
Friends, before we get started this morning, can I ask if you've brought your mobile phone with you into the chapel, that you do switch it off for me, please, or switch it to silent. For those of you who are yet to sign the memorial book, it will be made available after the service. There will be refreshments, so you'll be able to sign the book then. Also, those who would like to make a donation to the RSPCA, there are envelopes available as well. So if you'd like to take one of those envelopes and make a donation in Jaspreet's honour, that would be much appreciated by her family. Well, friends, we meet here together today to honour and to pay tribute to the life of Jaspreet Kaur Gill, a vibrant, intelligent, effervescent person who has touched all the lives in this room. My name is Carolyn Symes, and Jaspreet's family have graced me with the privilege of conducting this memorial service today for someone who held a very special place in all their hearts. I thank you on their behalf for your presence and support. It's very clear from the numbers that are here today that the woman that you've come to honour and to grieve touched many and touched them deeply. Jaspreet's husband Luke, her parents Prem and Mabu, her brother Amrit, her grandmother, Luke's family, his parents Mike and Linda, brother Daniel and sister-in-law Kelly Marie, and brother Jason, all feel blessed to have had Jaspreet as part of their lives. Being such an avid animal lover, it would be remiss of me to not also remember today her very beloved four-legged friends. So let's remember Laker, Dante and Spicer, as well as Fonzie, her dog in Singapore. Today is a day to give thanks for Jaspreet's life and the experiences you all shared together. All the faiths of the world speak of another life after death, and although we do not know what it is, we can hold on to the hope, the belief of the knowledge of peace, rest, fulfillment, and of people being reunited in love. Let us believe today that Jaspreet has been reunited with her grandmother, Mahinda, and her aunt Amar, both who have passed before her, and they are even now looking down, watching over all those that they love. So for Jaspreet, the journey is just beginning. But for you, her family and friends, I know there is loss, grief and pain. Everyone here has had their life touched, perhaps in the tiniest way, or perhaps totally transformed by Jaspreet's existence. You'd not be here otherwise. Her life mattered to you. It's important to acknowledge and accept today that something fundamental has changed with her passing, and life will not be the same, nor should it. When death does occur within our community circle, we become aware of the fragility of life, and we realise that death is the common destiny of all living creatures. In her short years, Jaspreet lived her life with no regrets, and she felt blessed with the life that she had. Her love of animals, her talent, her driven personality, all giving weight to the joy that she felt in her life. When we are emotionally involved in the lives of other people, we open the door to grief, for grief is an inevitable part of life. All aspects of life that we embark on come with the possibility of grief. Life means grief, and love means grief. So the only way to avoid grief is not to live, not to love. But this would go against anything and everything that Jaspreet lived for. I'm sure there will be some very negative feelings amongst you today, feelings which seem irrational and overwhelming in their intensity. Feelings of anger, guilt, depression. To facilitate grief's work, and sadly it's what you have to do to work it through, let there be tears. Tears are not a sign of weakness, they are a sign of love and strength. Let there be talk. Talk about her life. Talk about what she achieved, what she loved. Feel brave enough to talk about her passing. This helps in accepting the reality of the tragedy we're faced with today, and grief's work is being done. We know that she's now at peace, so be thankful for the friendship that you had with her. Know that nothing can change any of the experiences that you shared with her. The past is secure and cannot be changed by circumstance or time. Be thankful that she was a part of your life. She lives on in the hearts and memories of those who knew and loved her. Remember her on quiet days, when raindrops whisper on your window pane. But in your memories, try not to grieve too much. Just let the joy of what you knew together remain. Remember her when evening stars smile down on you with quiet eyes. Remember her when you catch a glimpse of a beautiful red sunrise. And should your thoughts turn to her, know that she'd not have you grieve for too long, but she'd want you to live for her and laugh for her, for while you live, she knows that she won't die. Today is a day for memories. Today will be remembered for many reasons, but mainly I hope it will be remembered by you all as a very special day. A special day in which you shared some time with others in order to pay your last respects, and to say both mentally and physically a sad but very fond farewell to a wonderful woman, a woman whom you were also very privileged to have known. Much will be shared today as we move through the celebration of Jaspreet's life. You'll hear from her family, her friends, and there will be an opportunity for anyone who would like to come forward to share a story or an anecdote of their own with us today. A little further on, we'll pause for a moment of quiet reflection on the journey of this much-loved woman. And as we do reflect, her family will play for you a video presentation of some of their treasured memories and moments in her life that endeared her not just to them, but to everyone that she met. I want you all to remember today that love doesn't die, not real love. So know in the future that you don't have to say that you loved Jaspreet. Know that you can still say that you love her. I know as well as you do that you're not going to forget her very easily. But I hope that at least in time you will not remember her as fiercely and with as much pain as you do now, and I'm sure that's what she would want as well. It is at such times as these, when we are at our lowest ebb and we most need our family and friends around us, we can help them support each other, and in time the veil of mist and numbness will gradually disappear. I know that you will see a light at the end of your tunnel, and you can step out and look back and be thankful that despite your own grief and sorrow, you had someone to lean on when your own strength failed you. I know that Jaspreet's looking down very proud to see how her family and friends are supporting each other. But I'd like to spend some time now hearing how she made her own special mark on this world through tributes and memories from her family and friends. So to start us on that journey, her husband Luke is going to come forward to share some of her story with us.
Before I get started, I had a conversation a few years ago with Jaspreet about the prospect of if she were to die, and we were talking about a funeral. There wasn't much to the conversation. I was talking about how I would do this, how I would speak and deliver the eulogy, and she said, "No, you won't. You'll be absolutely destroyed. You won't be able to get up there." And I said, I bet you I will. And she said, "I bet you $5 that you won't be able to." So. Let's see how I go. All right. I've been walking around in a day since Friday trying to get my brain to wrap around the fact that you're gone. I'm writing the eulogy for my wife. That's ridiculous. I'm going to tell you about the Jaspreet I knew, the woman who was everyone's friend, who was driven, kind, who I loved. Jaspreet was smart, crazy smart, put everyone in this room to shame smart. She was like a sponge for knowledge. She excelled at anything she put her mind through, from research with autism and Alzheimer's, to agriculture, to vet science, and I have no doubt she would have reached her goal of being the best in the world at what she did. She was that kind of person. Once she had an idea and a plan of how to get there, she put a Jaspreet-shaped hole in any obstacle that was in her way. Jaspreet was an animal person. She liked every animal a lot more than she liked people, including myself. If she was down, she was angry, the way to bring her back up was to present her with one of our cats. That was 100% of the motivation behind her wanting to become a vet. She wanted to help animals. She had dogs, cats, mice, birds, fish, a hyena. And through it all, she was more compassionate and more caring than any of those animals had ever seen, anyone had ever seen. To the point where when she was asleep at night, one of our cats could come and fall asleep, literally on her face. And she wouldn't move because that would be mean to the cat. Jaspreet was trustworthy and kind. She had an uncanny ability to be people's confidant, the person to whom someone would pour out all of their issues, their childhood, their innermost hopes and fears. And I'm not talking about her friends, even though they did. I'm talking about total strangers. Random people talking to her in line in a coffee place about how they were scared, about how they'd never succeed in life. It was really something to see. And it really showed what kind of person Jaspreet was, that she was able to bring that out in people. Jaspreet was funny. Not just funny, she was witty, lethally so. 99% of the time she was too kind to show that side of her personality to most of the people here, but sometimes, to me especially, she would drop her guard and show that brilliant mind at work. Like responding to me wanting to buy some truly awful leather gloves with, how about some leather driving moccasins and a hat so people know to stay away from you. Not a lot of people knew she would do that. She didn't like people, so that's why I'm telling everyone now. Jaspreet was beautiful. She didn't think so. She was something not a lot of people know about how incredibly neurotic she was, about the way she looked and the way people perceived her, especially photos. in order to allow people to post their condolences on her Facebook page, I had to go and undo tons and tons of nested security and everything, just so she could put in place so that she could go to a movie and not worry about someone posting a photo of her that she thought looked fat. The amount of time I spent sitting in her closet at home, a closet of mine that, among Jaspreet's myriad other achievements, she considered her finest masterpiece. Sitting in that closet debating the relative merits of the dress with the tube, but without the sweater or tights or stockings or just boots. Jaspreet didn't really understand that she looked absolutely stunning in anything she wore, and I told her that, and she would always just roll her eyes and continue with the debate. Jaspreet was happy. She wasn't always. She was such a driven personality that I think the years after her first graduation adrift in a sea of potential, but without a real plan, were incredibly hard. But a year ago we made a decision that life's too short not to try to do things that make you happy, so we up camp and moved to the Lockyer Valley, 45 minutes away from the nearest shopping centre, which is a real sacrifice to the world's greatest shopper, and an hour away from work for me. We went there to pursue the dream. Dr. Jaspreet, zoo veterinarian and the world's leading expert on giraffe physiology. She needed to increase her uni GPA to qualify for the course, so last year was spent in applied science doing an eclectic range of incredibly hard work, 8 subjects in a year, and Jaspreet got 7 perfect 7s and a 6. And I have to tell you that 6 was just the worst thing to have ever happened. And as is always going to happen, this year she got her offer 5 years of that science and then came to plan. Volunteer, become an invaluable expert, and then conquer the world one zoo at a time. She'd never worked harder, never had more sleepless nights studying, never had so many notes and anatomy mesmerizations, and she'd never been happier. It's a comfort for me that she knew she had that ahead of her. And that's the Jaspreet that I'm going to remember. 3 a.m. at her desk, surrounded by cats, hair in a bun on top of her head, and glasses she hated, and gigantic flannel pajamas. Beautiful and wild and crazy and perfect. Baby, I miss you. We're meant to have so much time, the 10-year plan, kids, more animals than it's considered sane to have. I wrote a song for you once and then I said, home is where the heart is, and I left mine with you. I don't know where home is now. I'll always love you and I'll never spend a minute without thinking about you. Thank you.
There's $5 waiting in heaven for you. Well, friends, as we know, Jaspreet was very talented in more ways than one. We've just heard some of her story. She was part of the Lockyer Regional Performing Arts Group, and they're going to come forward now to share a special tribute with us. mentioned earlier, the opportunity now exists for anyone who would like to come forward to share a memory or a story, or perhaps to say a few words. And I know it can be difficult to get up in front of people and speak, but if you do have something you'd like to say, then please come forward.
Good morning. My name is Terry Quinn, and I'm part of the Lockyer Regional Performing Arts family. And I had the absolute honour of directing Jazz and Luke in their first two shows with us. About 18 months ago, we were doing a show called My Fair Lady. And for those of you who've ever been involved in community theatre, you would know that men are an issue, or the lack of. And so we, in desperation, wrote an article in the local paper saying, "My Fair Lady desperately seeks men." And the next Sunday, these two people walked in that I came to know as Luke and Jaspreet. And they came over, and Jazz was saying how much Luke loved to sing, and he wanted to be involved in the show. And I threw my arms around him and said, "Welcome." And I said, "What about you?" "Oh, no, I don't get on stage." I said, "Oh, okay. But I'll help out behind the scenes." And so she did. We introduced her to the wonderful world of stage crew. And she was incredibly bright and organised, and she had that stage crew very schmick, and there were a lot of scene changes in that show. But while that season went on, I saw this little sparkle start to appear in her eyes, and I thought, she's getting the bug. I'm going to get her on stage. And we often joked about that. She said, no. And then we were getting ready to do auditions for Bye Bye Birdie, the season of which has just finished. And she came up to me one day and said, "Do you think it would be all right if I did an audition?" And I went, "Absolutely. I knew that you would ask me that one day." And so she came along, was not a confident singer, had not really had any lessons or anything like that at that stage. And she did the most amazing audition. Not necessarily the greatest singing, but she let rip, and it was in tune, but she had this presence, this absolute energy that just came off the stage and hit us in the chest. And I went, wow. And then she did her reading, and we all sat there after she left and went, this girl has amazing potential as an actress. And so we decided to cast her in the role of Gloria Rasputin. And that character is one that has the potential to really steal the show, because she's a character that Luke, who played Albert's mama, tries to push her into the way to break up the relationship that he's currently in. And we thought, this is going to be interesting, because she had a set against Rosie's character because she was Spanish, and we thought, well, we've got Jaspreet being Gloria, it's going to be really interesting having an, I don't want you to marry a Spanish person, but here's this lovely Indian-looking woman, it's going to be good. And the audiences got that every night. They laughed as she walked on, and they just got the intellect behind the fact that this was this person that was there. But the thing I remember most is every time she walked on, the orange hot pants and the high heels and the white coat, and wiggled the hips, went, "Hey, Al, you're cute." Cracked the audience up every night. But what I think about Jaspreet, and when I think about her, and to, I suppose, give you an analogy, in theatre we use a lot of spotlights. Now, a spotlight can be focused and very intense and just on you. And you would have conversations with Jazz where she would give you the full attention, and she would listen, and she would not get distracted by anything else, and you were the most important person in her world at that point in time when you were having a conversation. But she also had the ability, as a spotlight does, to filter out and actually light up a whole room. And it's not as if focused, but everybody gets the benefit of that light. And that is something that she did with amazing regularity and peace and calm and just total class. And when I got the call last Saturday morning, I dropped quite a few inappropriate words because I was in utter shock, and I don't know what poor old Emily thought on the other end of the phone. But what happened was that our Lockyer family, our theatre family, have rallied around and united, and we've spent a lot of time this last week talking and hugging and laughing at memories, and that is partly because of the person that she was, because she was just the most amazing person that anybody could be blessed to have known. And I think all of us in this room will recognise that she was indeed a particularly special person, and every one of us will remember her every day, because she is not someone that will be easily forgotten. So Jazz, from your theatre family, we love you a lot and we will miss you heaps. And tell you what, next show, when that spotlight comes on, we know it's going to be you in that light, and we will bask in that forever and a day. Thank you.
Dear Luke, Mike, Linda, Fred, Nadia and families, words cannot truly express the pain you feel, but these words from Elton John's tribute to Princess Diana offer a small comfort. Loveliness we've lost, those empty days without your smile. Even though we try, the truth brings us to tears. All our words cannot express the joy you brought us through the years. Jaspreet, you'll be sorely missed by those of us who are fortunate enough to call you friend. A beautiful lady, inside and out. I remember the first time I met you. Linda brought you to a belly dance class and introduced you as Jazz. I mistakenly called you Jasmine. Never once did you correct me. You just gave me that beautiful smile. In all the time I knew you, never once did I hear a harsh or angry word. You were always full of love, laughter and sunlight. Jaspreet, you always had time for everyone. No one was ever overlooked. You were generous with your time, not only for people, young and old, but with every living being. At your kitchen tea, I sat next to your mother and learned that you always wanted to be a vet. And your favourite animal, well, I thought panda, chimpanzee, and then your mother told me giraffe. So that was something that was most unexpected. After your first belly dance performance, you came up to me to apologise because you had a costume malfunction. The audience and I didn't even realise because you danced so beautifully. And I know that Adele was looking forward to you teaching some Bollywood for her. I share with everyone here today some words that may bring some small comfort. A passing among humans is a welcoming among angels. To me, you have always been an angel walking among us. Why else would we be graced with your beaming smile, beautiful personality, and have you taken from us too early? It was because they needed you back in heaven to help the other angels. Everyone I have spoken to or read Facebook posts all say the same thing. Jaspreet, you were, and to many of us will always be, a generous, giving, loving, beautiful soul. The Australian Veterinary Association students post on Facebook states that Jaspreet was a veterinary student at the University of Queensland. But most importantly, she was a wonderfully bright and positive person. Although many of them only met her recently, they were touched by her personality and enthusiasm. She had an infectious enthusiasm for anything about which she was passionate. Jaspreet, one of your Facebook posts states it so eloquently, death leaves a heartache no one can heal, but love leaves a memory no one can steal. In the doors of heaven you will always be loved and remembered in our hearts, but the world misses you too much to let it go. We love you and miss you, and I'm honoured to have been able to call you friend. We were blessed to have known you and will always carry you in our hearts as a sister in our soul.
I'm Jade. I'm one of Jess's friends from first year vet. And when I look out in the audience, I see a lot of faces from vet and from uni, so she was very loved at uni. I don't really have a plan of what I want to say, I just kind of want to share. I went and saw Jazz's performance for Bye Bye Birdie for the opening rehearsal night, and she was amazing. I remember she was saying that she had to do this terrible dance, and I was like, so is actually a terrible dance, or are you a terrible dancer? And she's like, no, I have to actually perform a terrible dance. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went there just to watch that. And I remember she just had the most infectious smile. Like, every time I did her talk, I just did her mouth. Like, her smile was beautiful. And when I told her that I videoed that dance and sent it to all of our friends, she was still smiling. We used to sit together at uni every day, and you look forward to going to uni just to see her smile. I remember after a biochem exam, our mid-semester exam, which it was really hard. We all walked out and we were all so upset about how we had done it, and she was just like, I think I failed, I don't know, I just did so horribly in it, and she was complaining about it, but she was still smiling the whole time, and I was really confused, like, so, I don't know, like, are you really going to do bad? Anyway, she ended up just nailing it. And on that note, she didn't even have to do biochem, she could have got a credit for it, but she did it because she just wanted to make sure, I guess, that she was the best vet there was. I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves. And on the dancing as well, I had a birthday dinner up in Toowoomba at Sofra's, and we asked it's a Turkish restaurant, we asked the waiters if they could find us a drum. So I played the drums, and Jess got up and did belly dancing to it, and it was just brilliant. We videoed that too. We will show you after. She just nailed it. I was talking to Jess on Friday in the car park, and I remember just the whole time, again, just looking at her smile, just thinking how much of a beautiful smile she has when she was talking about how tired she was, and she's like, I just want to go home and see my animals. And I don't know, maybe you're included in that. But there is no doubt that she would have been the best vet in the world. We were even talking in the car park, saying that throughout the rest of our studies, and when we graduate, we'll take memories of her into our career.
Hello, my name is Melissa and I'm Luke and Jazz's auntie. These few words have been written on behalf of Jaspreet's Australian family. In our society and in our culture, when we lose someone we love, we try so hard to understand and somehow reconcile what has happened. In this event, though, there is no way of doing that. We have no choice but to accept that losing Jaspreet just is. What we need to focus on today is remembering what a delight and joy it has been to have Jaspreet as part of our family, and how blessed we are not only to have known Jaspreet, but also her wonderful family from Singapore who opened their hearts to us. Jazz came into our family around 6 years ago, and from the very outset, we knew she was an absolute gem. With Jazz, there was no pretense, no attitude, just a genuine interest and concern for the people, and I should say animals, around her. This lovely young woman was eternally bright and cheerful, and she fully embraced our extended family, no matter what she encountered, and accepted us as we were. And that smile, infectious, omnipresent, unforgettable. More importantly, it was very obvious to us how wonderful Jazz was for Luke and for the O'Hagan family. We were delighted when they became engaged. For those of us who had had the opportunity to attend their wedding in Singapore, it opened a new world of understanding. We felt so privileged to be part of it, and the warmth extended to us by Jaspreet's family was immeasurable. Prem, Mabir, Amrit, we know Jas was such a beautiful person because she was the product of your loving and caring family. Please know that Jaspreet is always going to be in our hearts, and please remember that you are still part of our Australian family. Love you, Jas, and we miss you.
Thank you all for letting us share our memories of Jas with you today. My name is Catherine and this is Peggy, and we're friends of Jas and her family. Sorry, can you hear me? Beautiful Jas. Just the mention of her name fills everyone with happiness. Her smile, that amazing, contagious smile that could light up an entire room. And I know everyone mentions this. It really did make everyone around her feel warm, happy, and at ease. And although we stand here before you, heartbroken over this tragic loss, we are so very grateful to have known such a beautiful spirit and to have shared the many good times of her life with Luke. There were many lessons that we learned from Jas. Her humility, the immense love she had for her families, both near and far, for her many friends and workmates, and in particular for her husband Luke. Jaspreet's caring nature led her down the path she was dedicated to, the care and welfare of all creatures. Although she did tell Peggy recently that she preferred the bigger animals than something small like a mouse, simply because there's a bit more to work with. Jas had an amazing sense of fun and laughter, and she supported, then joined Luke in musical theatre. Peggy and I loved watching Luke, and then Jas, we were actually quite surprised to see Jas, so well done to the whole team who got her up. In their most recent play, which was, of course, Bye Bye Birdie. And then afterwards, on to the local pub for dinner. Much to the entertainment of other pub guests, we all thoroughly enjoyed being involved in the impromptu sing-along that I blame Peggy for. And sadly, unfortunately, this was the last opportunity we had time to spend with Jas. Jas tried to enjoy, and I'm sure she did, everything on offer. Her life was short, but so full and left such a lasting memory on all of us. It is these lessons that we will endeavour to emulate in her memory. Whenever we think of Jas, we will think of her simple, honest and heartwarming smile, which will remain with us forever and sustain us all throughout the coming days and years ahead. We love you, Jas. I'll just pass you on to Peggy, and Peggy has a poem that she would like to read that is from our hearts to Jas and to her families.
Thank you, everyone. To a lot of you, I'm not just Peggy, I'm Auntie Peg. I've been around the family, the O'Hagan family, for the last 32 odd years, and recently welcomed Jas's family. And I do offer my sincere condolences to everybody who knew her and loved her. If you knew her, you loved her, there wasn't any choice. You left us without warning, no chance to say goodbye. And we just can't seem to stop asking the question, why? We didn't see this coming. It took us by surprise. And when you left for heaven, a small part of us died. Your beautiful smile could brighten up anyone's day, no matter what they were going through.
And every day that passes by as we smile even through our tears, we know that you will be smiling down on us too. We will be forever grateful, and indeed we feel privileged to have known Jazz and to have been so lucky to have shared in many of her happy times, her engagement, her wedding, the fun that she had with the concert group, and indeed just any time we caught up. Jazz was a delight. She is a delight because she'll never be forgotten. She'll always be a part of our memory. Thank you.
My name is Malcolm Jones. I'm one of the teachers from the Gatton campus in the vet school, and Luke, on behalf of all the staff in the school, we pass on to you our love and thoughts at this time. In the first semester of veterinary sciences, we get to know our students. We get to learn what they like and to see them develop from, I guess, very raw recruits to become eventually the very strong and able veterinarians and junior colleagues that we strive to teach. As we look at the student body, we see students that absolutely stand out as leaders, and Jaspreet was one of those people. We define leadership not so much as a person who stands out and does great things, but a person who does the small things and just works in so many ways. Those of us in vet sciences might think of the lollipop moment. We saw Jazz as a great leader. I taught that anatomy course that kept her awake till 3 o'clock. We don't intend to keep students awake till the early hours of the morning, but we know that our students love what they're doing. And Jazz especially loved what she was doing. And that's what drove her to stay awake. The last interaction I had with her was she wrote to me to tell me that she'd been selected as a student volunteer for the AVA conference, the Pan-Pacific conference. Would it be okay if she could change her practical times? I said, it's fine. You can change. We'll allow you to do that. And congratulations. I think that sums up who she was for us, a very committed student, a leader, somebody who was just a great friend to her colleagues, and we will remember her.
Friends, yep, one more. Okay. We've kept the best to last.
I know many of you here today, many don't, but it gives me comfort to see so many of you here today. I remember, there's a lot of stories I have from Jaspreet, and I struggle to find the right one to say. And I realized over time that a lot of those stories are precious to me in their mind. They might be a bit selfish, but they're what I have of her now. But one story I can share is that, and it has to do with friendship, she loved having friends. And it was one night after 2/5 of a fifth of vodka, I think it was. She said to me and the people around her, if I ever break up with Luke, are you still going to be my friend? And we at the time was like, yes, of course, Jaspreet, yes, of course. And you know, if you were to look at all the faces here today, she certainly did not fail in that endeavour, in having so many friends. I mean, often between Luke and I, he often has the upper hand in bargaining power because he always says that he has all this dirt on me. And And I think there's one gift that Jaspreet left behind. I have a hell of a lot of dirt on you. And, you know, I never liked to gossip, but with Jaspreet, I love the gossip. You know. And that's one memory I have of her, is just how much she loved you and how much she would tell me that she loved you. I'm gonna miss her a lot. And I think we'll all feel a little bit empty, a little bit like there's something missing. But that's okay, because she left our lives so much more enriched. She left us a little more. And Prem and Marbia, look around you, you raised a magnificent human being. A magnificent human being. So goodbye, Jaspreet. I'm still your friend. We're all still your friends. And we all love you.
Hi everyone. You're looking around, a lot of familiar faces. It was just about, just over 2 years ago. I had to give a speech. Yeah, and, you know, I was holding that card. I have a card that I made and was telling her, you know, when it comes to my turn, I need her there. But yeah, that's for a different occasion. But you know, thinking about her, just one little story that I have of her. Whenever we did road trips, she always seemed to sit behind because I was a fussy pot. I loved to sit in front, and I would fall to the back. And you know, Backstreet Boys would be on playlists all day long. You know, I can't believe how many times the discs were playing and they survived. And you know, I'll always hear this faint little buzzing in the back, and it would be my sister singing to it, you know, singing along. And I hated it. I was horrible. I tried all different techniques. I wound down windows, you know, to make louder noises. I tried singing louder. I turned off the music. Nothing helped, you know. Now I want to hear it, but I can't. But you know, it's in the mind. And yeah, and that's her. You know, she was always there. She was always backing you up. She was always beside you. She held you back when you needed her. And you know, in a light, that's what she was like. You know, I've heard a lot about how, you know, she was very dedicated to her vet science and how determined she was. And I don't know if many of you know this. I know it's a really small thing, but the whole of last week, we were actually going from vet to vet to vet because our little Dachshund in Singapore, Fonzie, was having some semi-paralysis in his hind legs. And everyone was telling us, you know, he has to go for operation. He has to, you know, go for surgery. If not, he has to be put down. We gave her a call on Thursday after meeting a surgeon, and she told us, you know, he's a strong little boy, and you know, we want to keep him at home. We want to try medication, and that's what she suggested. And you know, if it got too hard, let's put him down. I mean, we don't want to put him through surgery and all that. And on which day was it? Monday. We were getting him some medicine because we needed to get him some extra. And he was a pet resort. And you know, this guy, he was not moving at all last week. He was walking, you know. He was moving his little legs and shit, man. She was right. Thank you.
Well, friends, I'd like to ask you all now to pause for a moment of quiet reflection as Jaspreet's family reveal to us some of their fondest memories of her in photographs.
Look out birds are winging, no rain is falling from a heavy sky. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? For this is all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk out of any doorway, feel your way like the day before. Maybe you'll find direction around some corner where it's been waiting to meet you. What do you want me to do? To watch for you while you're sleeping? Then please don't be surprised when you find me dreaming too. Look into any eyes, you find that you can see clear to another day. Maybe been seen before through other eyes on other days while going home. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? It's all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk into splintered sunlight, inch your way through dead dreams to another land. Maybe you're tired and broken, your tongue is twisted with words half spoken and thoughts unclear. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? A box of rain will ease the pain, and love will see you through. Just a box of rain, wind and water. Believe it if you need it. If you don't, just pass it on. Sun and shower, wind and rain, in and out the window like a moth before a flame. And it's just a box of rain. I don't know who put it there. Believe it if you need it, or leave it if you dare. And it's just a box of rain, or a ribbon for your hair. Such a long, long time to be gone, and a short time to be there.
Friends, there's some wonderful memories there for you all. Well, at the end of our service, we invite you to stay for a little while for refreshments that will be served I think there's a catering area just outside, and as I mentioned earlier, if you're yet to sign the memorial book, that will be available then. Well, getting together and sharing stories and memories is an important part of Luke and Jaspreet's family, so to that end, they've asked that I do extend a further invitation to you to make your way to 1 Will's Place, McGregor. I think that address was handed out to many people as they came in, so please, if you do have the time, being that it is Friday afternoon, I'm sure that the O'Hagans would love to see you there to continue this celebration of a very, very special life. Know that the separateness, the uniqueness of each human life is the basis of your grief and bereavement. But as you've heard, you can look through the whole world and there's no one that would be just like Jaspreet. She lives on in your memories, and though she's no longer a visible part of your lives, she will always remain a member of your family and of your circle through the influence that she had on you and the special part that she played in all your lives. When you do leave here in a short while, I hope you will leave with a feeling of having shared in something very special for a very special woman. I'd like us to remember that our loved ones who have passed away, they don't reside in a grave or in an urn or in the ashes that we may scatter to the wind. They live in the hearts and the minds of the living. So hold on to Jaspreet in your thoughts. There's no need for you to part from her too hastily. Talk about her, talk to her often. Repeat the words and sayings that she used and the jokes that she made, and enjoy your memories of her just as if you were all together today. And I think she would want you all to continue to give Luke as hard a time as possible. The catastrophe of death cannot be altered, but it can be transformed by love and by caring. You can share with each other your grief as well as your memories. As there is life, there is death. They're not opposites, they're complementary, as one gives rise to the other. For without one, the other does not exist. Really, there are no opposites. Opposites are illusions. There could be no hero if there wasn't a villain, no health without disease, no day without night. Know that the last breath that we take contains within it our first breath. The first holds the seeds of the last. They are the same. It's just a matter of expression. The first act of life is inhalation, the baby cries, and everyone laughs. The final act of life is exhalation. A woman has closed her eyes, and everyone cries. And in the numbers of the world, we hear today about a few. But that doesn't mean that Jaspreet's leaving has had any less significance. Here and now we dedicate this moment to her, and we say, rest in peace. Friends, Jaspreet will be taken home to Singapore, and a service to lay her to her final rest will be held there with her family. I sincerely hope that our memorial service today has given you all the opportunity to be comforted by some degree by this important last act of love and respect that we've all shared in here together today. Jaspreet's life has been like a tapestry in which you were all woven to some extent. It is made up of the many threads of memories which, no matter how much time passes, will always remain somewhere in your heart, safely stored to be accessed when you need them the most. The greatest testimony to her memory today is to make the most of your lives and live every day that you have as if it were your last. I would like you to always remember that love is stronger than death, even though it can't stop death from happening. But no matter how hard death tries, it can't separate people from love. It can't take away our memories either. So in the end, love is stronger than death. Please go in peace with each other. Our service today has ended. Thank you.
Next
stars in reach of which you touch, so I feel them in each word that you speak. Shining is so effortless when you greet. And at that moment, when time to stop for a second, cause I enjoy the beat. It's beautiful life, with an understanding when the world takes you for granted, and you still stay standing, big firm and planted, knowing that you can withstand it all. Feeding life to a soul, so I know where to look when the weather may call. It's beautiful life, the feeling of tomorrow after a good day. Misunderstood, you never heard what they should say, but yet each season must test so much respect. Beautiful like a smile I can never forget. I'ma tell the whole world that you're beautiful. Don't you forget, girl, that you're beautiful. You should remember that you're beautiful. That's my word, that's my word, yeah, yeah. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep beautiful like giving back with all that you had, like picking it back up when you felt and the feeling was bad, like reminiscing on memories. A beautiful sight to see, cause for a moment you seem so proud to be beautiful like colors in the sky, painted by the rain. A wonderful change to see it, we overlook the pain, like a conversation about life and its games. Philosophizing about these days and when we're gonna take aim. Beautiful like it was written and now it's gotta be told, like a timeless lesson expressed by an intelligent soul. It'll never get old, I understand where the essence is, so I'm lost in your eyes whenever they speak their messages. Beautiful like three little birds on my doorstep, heaven is waiting cause there's no way they can ignore this. Beautiful like nights spent doing what you love to do, but most importantly you're beautiful cause you are a cure. Don't you forget, girl, that you're beautiful. I'ma tell the whole world that you're beautiful. That's my word, that's my word, yeah. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep
How could I?